It's 5 p.m. in the UK. It is Sunday, and therefore it is time for another Flutifull Time here on YouTube with me, Claire Hodditch, and my fabulous moderator team of David Walker and Chris Storms. How are we doing, Flutifull people? Well, yeah, I can't believe another week has gone by, but here we are. We're going to spend the next couple of hours, well, I am anyway, playing some live music, enjoying some friendly chat, and of course, there will be some wonderful, fascinating facts along the way, because that's what we all enjoy around here, isn't it? That's what we're all here for. So I hope you've had a wonderful week. My week's been quite good, yeah, quite varied. And some exciting things to tell you about as well. So we'll get to that in due course. So I like to say hello to everybody who says hello in the chat. So if you're around and you haven't said hello, please do introduce yourself, because it's nice to just say hello, isn't it? So hello to Wild, who was here very early today, has been on a long walk and has requested quite a list of things, which we will endeavour to get round to, Wild. I think what we're going to do is we're going to space out these requests. So we'll space them out a bit. And if anybody likes to request, feel free. And if you're new around here and would like to know how that works, I will tell you in a minute. So hello, Wild. Hope you've had a lovely week. And yeah, thank you for all the requests. My mummy Janet's here, got her request in. We will get that on for you soon, mummy. Hope you're okay. Had a good day. Wilbur's here. Good morning, Wilbur. Wilbur saying the sun is sleeping this morning. Reminds me of a certain song. Are we going to add that one to the queue? Hope you're okay, Wilbur, apart from not having much sun. There's nothing. I really like it when it's really the sun. You can see the sun come through your window even when your curtains are closed. I know some people don't like that, do they? Have blackout things, but I quite like it because I'm like, it gives me the energy to actually get out of bed. So so I hope you're cheery, Wilbur, even though the sun's not around. Morning, Chris. Got your coffee on, Chris? And Chris says I was going to request My Sweet Lord in the Chain, but Wild's beating me to it. Because they're on the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack. Well, that's where Wild really loves them from as well, Chris. So you're great minds there. It's an awesome film, that, isn't it? It's a really awesome film, and Wild actually introduced me to it. So I'm grateful for that. David says chilly here, 30 to 40 Fahrenheit, single digits. That is chilly for you guys, isn't it? But sunny and dry. Yeah, it's been very windy in Hull today. Very windy indeed. Yes, so we're kind of feeling on the same thing there, aren't we? So if you're new to Flutifull Time, then welcome. If you would like to request from my growing list of tunes, then check out the list that David has posted for us there in the chat. Thank you, David. I'm going to pin that to the top for us. Check out that list. There's all sorts of stuff on there. When you find something that you'd like, type your request here in the chat on YouTube, and then we can add it to the queue for you. Requests are completely free, but we do have a really long list today. So if there's something you really want to hear, to guarantee that we get it played, and we get it played fairly soon-ish in this 2-hour session, then you can donate to the stream via the little link which is here, ko-fi.com, I should say ko-fi.com/Claire Hodditch, and there you will find the donate button, and you'll also find the memberships button, which takes you to the wonderful Flutifull Club. So, what do I have to tell you? Well, yeah, it's been quite a busy week. I'll fill you in on that in a bit. David is straight in there asking how Hull Fair is going. Yeah, now, if you're not familiar with Hull Fair, then let me share you a little bit about it. In fact, I've actually got the link here to the Wikipedia page on Hull Fair, because it's so amazingly famous that it has its own Wikipedia page. There we go. There it is. And let me just give you some information, some facts about Hull Fair before we begin today. So, according to Wikipedia, Hull Fair has been active for 743 years, folks. 743 years. It received its first royal charter in 1279, although it operated informally at that time, apparently, prior to that. This is what Wikipedia tells us. There, of course, has been a few years when we've not had a fair. We didn't have a fair during the First World War or the Second World War, and also, of course, COVID. It was cancelled in 2020. However, every other year there has been a fair during this week in Hull, just down the road from me here. And it's Europe's largest travelling fun fair, and I can vouch for the fact that it is. Not because I've actually been this year, but because I can hear it. Now, you won't be able to hear it right now because Sunday it doesn't actually operate. So it started on Friday and was going Friday and yesterday, closed on Sunday, and it's back open tomorrow until, I think it's next Friday. I think it's Friday it finishes. David saying, I wonder what the rides were like then. I know, in 1279. I often wonder that. What was it in 1279? Was it just some guy with a coconut or something? I don't know. What was it? But now, all sorts of huge things going on that fling you around and wheels and all sorts of stuff. So it's a little bit crazy. The last time I went on any of the crazy rides was when I was a student. Since then, I've kind of... yeah, opted. I have been a few times, but not been on any of the rides. Anyway, so there we go. We've got some wonderful facts to start you off with about our affair. And now we're going to start off with a piece of music that I've dedicated to Hull Fair. This is a piece called Toccatina. It's actually by Pietro Ion, an American chap who moved to Italy and was writing things for the Vatican, really. And he wrote a lot of organ music, and this was originally a piece for organ, which I was asked to create for Flutifull Time by the Colaston Massive. Hello, Colaston Massive, if you're watching. And I ended up creating something that sounds a bit like a fun fair. I think it does anyway. So hence the association with Hull Fair. So we have to start with this today. Thank you so much, Wild, for adding it to the list. First thing, here we go. This is my dedication to Hull Fair. This is Toccatina. There we go. That was my own Flutifull version of Docadina, Pietro Young, otherwise known as Hull Fair music. So everybody who's involved with Hull Fair this week, everybody who's going down there, I hope you have a lovely, lovely time. But just keep the noise down, will you please? Because it's very loud. I don't know. Oh, Wilbur, fabulous emojiing there. Lovely. They've come up nice and colourful on my screen today, those emojis. That's lovely. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, David. Thank you, Mummy. Glad that's a great, really nice one to start with. That, isn't it? It's not often now that we start with that one because it's been on the list for a while. But I quite like it, like starting with that one. It's quite fun. Chris says that song should leave you out of breath afterwards. Well, you'd think, wouldn't you? You'd think. The thing about that one is it's quite lively, but there's no beatboxing, so I'm not having to work so hard here. There's quite a lot of air going through, but it's all in the tongue, you know, Chris. That one. All in the tongue, but my tongue can take quite a lot of up and downs. It's quite used to it, so that one's okay. I don't mind that one to start with. Right, Chris has a quiz for us. Who's ready for a quiz, folks? He's warming us up. We're straight in here. We're straight in here with a quiz today. Who is the only musician to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 3 times? Really? How does that work? Who is the only musician to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 3 times? Now, is this because this is somebody who's in a band as well, Chris? Is that how that works? I don't understand how you can be inducted in more than once. That's got me puzzled. If you think you know the answer to our first Flutifull quiz of today's stream, then no, there's no prizes. There's no prizes, but the glory of just knowing. Chris is straight on there with the answer. So 2 bands and 1 solo. Ooh, thank you for that, Chris. I don't think that doesn't help me in the slightest, but is interesting just nonetheless. So somebody who's been in 2 bands and also a known solo artist been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 3 times. If you think you know the answer, let us know, and Chris will no doubt fill us in on that later on. Right, I need some tea after all that Hull Fair action. So if you're wondering which mug I've got today, I don't know why I keep doing this anymore, because I just default to this, don't I? The largest mug that I have. However, if you follow me on Twitter, you may have seen this week that there's a broadcaster here in the UK called James O'Brien, who I very much enjoy listening to when I get the chance. And somebody tweeted a picture of him because they have a live stream of him broadcasting. It's radio, but they have the live stream nowadays, don't they? Which must be, I don't know, maybe they don't even think about it when they're broadcasting, but it's the poor people who are used to just rocking up and their hair looks a mess or whatever. They now have to look nice because they're live streaming as well. Anyway, somebody posted a picture of him with this enormous mug. Like, you think, I mean, Chris, you thought this was big, didn't you? This mug is like twice the size of this. If you want to know what I'm talking about, go and check out my Twitter, because it's in my feed there, right? Absolutely enormous mug. So we were like, what's going on with this? And then Wild found said mug. We think we found said mug. So I might have to go there. I'm thinking if I get this mug, folks, I won't have to have the flask. But is it going to stay warm enough? You know, I mean, all these problems. So anyway, for now, we have this mug, which is very lovely. Mummy bought this mug, didn't you, Mother? And it has lovely rabbits on. So I'm very happy with this mug. But yeah, massive bucket mug. But anyway, I'm going to enjoy my tea from this mug today. Lovely. Right, let's continue with these requests. So Wild has requested all of the Star Trek themes, which includes, of course, my latest theme, which is for Deep Space Nine. Let me know if you're a Deep Space Nine fan. I have to admit, I've not watched a lot of Deep Space Nine at all, but I will do, because I've got the old Paramount Plus there, and when I get to the end of what I'm watching at the moment, which I will have to talk about again today because it's so marvellous, I will be diving into some Deep Space Nine. However, hang on, hold your horses if you want to hear my new cover, because before that, we're going to ease you into the world of Star Trek by flinging you across the galaxy to the Delta Quadrant. So here is my personal favourite in the Star Trek collection. This is the theme from Star Trek Voyager. Oh, there we go. That was, of course, the wonderful theme from Star Trek Voyager, Flutifull Time. Thank you, Wild, for the request of that one. And do stick around because we've got all your Star Trek tunes coming up, including the brand new cover of mine, which came out on YouTube on Friday of Deep Space Nine. Apologies if that the volume was a little bit strange there. I just realised halfway through that yeah, I needed to adjust the volume slightly. Anyway, normal service, whatever that is, should be now resumed. Right, we've had a guess on the Hall of Fame question. Wilbur going for Paul McCartney. Very good guess, Wilbur, I felt there. Wilbur, very good guess. Thinking, the Beatles, Wings, and then as a solo artist as well. Not correct. not correct, apparently. So do keep those guesses coming in on that. Yeah, I mean, so it's not a Beatle then. I mean, Chris has said the Beatles is the only band to have all members inducted as solo artists also. So does that mean it is a Beatle? I don't know. Keep those guesses coming in, folks. Keep those guessing. Thank you, David. Thank you, Mummy. Thank you, Wilbur, for the applause there. Awesome. So next up we have my latest cover, which is of Deep Space Nine. Now, this was a really, really interesting one to do because obviously, you know, I've done a few Star Trek covers now, but this piece of music is really, really different. Those of you who know Star Trek will know this already, of course. It's a much more how should I put it, static piece of music. There's less moving around, there's less energy, and I'm guessing that's because Deep Space Nine, if you're not aware, is a space station. So it is static, and we're not zipping off all over the place. So I think the idea was that this was, you know, less frantic than some of the other themes. Although Voyager there is not, I wouldn't say it was frantic, but it's got certainly going somewhere, isn't it? So when I listened to this, I thought, oh, that's beautiful. I love it. Great piece of music, but very different. And what am I going to do with it? Well, I decided to add in a few more little parts, which you may have been able to spot if you've listened to it already. There's a few more moving parts that weren't in the original that I just felt gave it a little bit of movement, that kept it interesting. And also, of course, I did my classic thing of doing a little improvisation section in the middle, just to lengthen it out, because it's literally like a minute long, as these themes are. So anyway, without further ado, this is my latest cover of the music by Dennis McCarthy, who's not featured as a composer on our list yet, although when I did a little bit of research on him, he did write quite a lot of music for the Star Trek series, including 60-something episodes of Voyager. So he's a very prolific composer when it comes to writing what we call the underscore, the music actually in the series. But I think this was the only theme that he wrote, I think. Anyway, I hope you enjoy it. This is new to Flutifull Time. This is my own cover of the theme from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. There we go. That was my own Flutifull version for the first time here on Flutifull Time. Deep Space Nine. What do we make of that, folks? And especially if you're not a Star Trek fan. I know a lot of us here are. So I'm talking to the few. I'm probably just talking to my mum, really. Let me know what you make of that as a piece. I'm really pleased with how that one came out, because honestly, when I first listened to it, I went, "Ooh, what am I going to do?" But it was really fun to work with, some really cool sounds in there, and yeah, it's nice to play. It's a nice one to play and improvise with. So I hope you enjoyed it. David says, yes, that's going to be my favourite Trek theme cover. Yay! Thank you, David. Well, there's still a few to go, but I've kind of caught up with myself now because I've got them all in order, haven't I? So we've got original series, Next Gen, Deep Space, and Voyager. So what comes after that? I've forgotten what comes after that, folks. Is it, it's Enterprise? Is it Enterprise? I think Enterprise was after that, wasn't it? Anyway, thank you very much. We are yet to have an answer to the question, who is the artist who has been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 3 times? 3 times. So Chris has given us some hints. Not a Beatle. And it's one of the bands is the Yardbirds. So David's gone for Eric Clapton. Are we there? Are we there, Chris? Let us know. Let us know if we're getting close to that one. Right, I think I'm going to have some tea, a little bit more tea after our little Star Trek there. We've got a couple more coming your way, folks, and then we will have a little bit more Star Trek. Yeah, Eric Clapton. Well done, David. Well done. With a little bit of help from our friends. We got there, didn't we? So, Eric Clapton. There's a good fact for you, folks. Musical-related fact, of course. Isn't it Eric Clapton that Ian Anderson said he heard and then he went, "I'm never going to play the guitar"? I think it's Eric Clapton, isn't it? I think that's right. Tool fans will correct me on that. And if you are a Tool fan, stay tuned to the news that I'm going to be giving you later on. That's all I'm going to say. Oh, a little teaser there. A little teaser for you lovely people. Right then. Next up, we have a request for one of my original tracks. Thank you, Mummy. This is Stand Out. If you've never heard this one before, well, what can I say? Stand Out was my attempt to emulate the wonderful work of Jethro Tull in its early form, as I was becoming a massive fan, and also to include all the weird and wonderful flute sounds that I love exploring. So you're going to hear some Ian Anderson type stuff in singing and playing and flutter tonguing and that lovely goodness, but also some beatboxing, which is something that Ian never really did. I'd love to see if he can. I bet he's had a go. What do we think? Do we think he can beatbox? I'd love to know the answer to that. I should have asked him that when I got to speak to him, shouldn't I? But anyway, this includes a little bit of beatboxing as well, and yeah, it has that early kind of Tull sound going on a little bit. So I hope you enjoy this. This is Stand Out. There we are. That was Stand Out. Thank you so much to my mummy Janet for the request of that one. Thank you for the Yorkshire tea donation, which came through during that as well. Fabulous timing. And if you enjoy that and you'd like to own your own copy, you can. If you head over to Bandcamp, my link to Bandcamp, which I'm sure David will pop us in the chat somewhere. You'll find it on there along with all my other offerings, which are available to you. Thank you, David, for the emojis. Thank you, Mummy. Great as always. Thank you very much. I'm just pleased that people like my stuff, you know. I don't really mind if people do or they don't, but it's lovely when they do. Hello to William. William says, stand out, beautiful as always. Well, thank you very much, William. I'm glad that greeted you as you came through the door there in Massachusetts. How is Massachusetts today? Hope it's doing well. We've decided that most of us have a little bit of autumnal weather going on today. You know, a little bit chilly, but some sunshine. Wilbur's not got any sunshine. Maybe we'll entice the sunshine out as we continue through our stream today. All right, I'm gonna have a little bit of tea. Lovely. So as I was saying, hinted at earlier, if you are a Tull fan, and of course Tull was my main influence there with that track that I put together, then do stick around. I have some exciting news to share with you. Flutifull Club members already kind of know what I'm going to talk about, but I'm going to share it with the rest of you and just regale you with a little bit of my excitement, because yeah. I'm still kind of like, ooh, that really happened. So yeah, I'll talk about that later on. Right, next up then, Chris, are you ready? This is one of the tunes that you were interested in hearing today that was already requested by Wild, who is around, just offline. So we won't forget that Wild is around. This is my, well, not my cover at all. This is a cover. Let me start that again. This is a track which has been added to the streaming list thanks to the support of the Flutifull Club, which you are all welcome to come and join if you go and check out coffee.com/Claire Hodditch hit memberships. You'll get all the details there. And the regular support of the Flutifull Club allows me to expand my growing collection of stuff, which has now hit, I think we've got 140 something items now, 145 or something like that items. It's no wonder I can't remember them, is it, or play them correctly anymore, because I can't remember them all. Anyway, this is one that's been added thanks to their support, like I keep saying, and it's a great track, which many of us know from the Guardians of the Galaxy films, and many people know in its original form as it's by one of the most famous musicians to have ever walked the planet. This is by George Harrison, My Sweet Lord. we go. Fabulous track by a fabulous musician featuring in a fabulous movie. That was My Sweet Lord, George Harrison. Thank you very much, Wild and Chris, really, for the joint request of that one today. Always fun to play around with, and I hope you were feeling that one because I really, really was today. That was awesome. Thank you. Right, Wilbur says, has anybody seen the new movie Amsterdam yet? Getting some buzz here. Great cast. Do you know, I don't think I've actually heard of that, Wilbur. Well, I've heard of Amsterdam, the place, but I've never been, and I've never heard of the film. So do fill us in a little bit more. I'm always looking for good film recommendations. Those of you know I've already mentioned today, I got the old Paramount Plus, and I've been watching, I told you this last week, but I'm going to tell you about it again. I've been watching The Man Who Fell to Earth, which is a 2022 remake of a classic series after a book. And, it just keeps getting better and better. If you haven't seen it, it's one of the best, it's the best thing I've watched recently since Strange New Worlds, which we're going to hear next. Oh my God, I don't want to say too much. I don't want to spoil it, but let me know if anybody's watched it, because it's wonderful. I was raving last week about the music, which also it just keeps getting better. Really eclectic mix of stuff, which really suits it, I think. They've very cleverly used some pre-existing music, and there's underscore in there, which is very well done. There's one thing in particular that really kind of tickled me, in that they've used a piece of bark, and it just really, I totally got the significance of it straight away. Very, very clever and a great arrangement. So brilliant stuff. If you haven't seen it, do go and watch it, and let me know what you think, because I'm just raving about it. I'm up to episode 7. It's 10 episodes, and yesterday left me on a real cliffhanger because I don't know the story. I haven't seen the original, so I'm really like on the edge. I must go and watch another episode tonight. So anyway, that leads us very nicely onto Strange New Worlds, not just because this was the best thing I'd watched until this, but because Jeff Russo is responsible for the wonderful music in Man Who Fell to Earth as well, and he is responsible for what we're going to hear now. Well, he's the composer, and yours truly is the arranger. So I hope you enjoy this. This is my arrangement of the theme from the one of the latest Star Trek series, because there's quite a few new ones at the moment, isn't there? This is the theme from Strange New Worlds.
Space, the frowning frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its founding mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has gone before.
Oh, I love that. I just think Jeff Russo's done such an awesome job at taking those wonderful, wonderful original ideas and doing something new with them, really giving them a fresh twist. I really love that. So that was my own version of Strange New Worlds by Jeff Russo with some extra themes. So well done if you're hearing that for the first time and you spotted a few extra things that aren't in his version, because I just couldn't resist. I just couldn't resist. Thank you, Wild, for the request of that one today. So, a bit more information on the Amsterdam film. Thank you, guys. So, the cast includes Chris Rock, Anya Taylor-Joy, Zoe Saldana, Mike Myers. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen Mike Myers in anything since the Austin Powers days, I don't think. Michael Shannon, Timothy Oliphant, Andrea Riseborough, Taylor Swift. Goodness me, what a list. Matthias Schoenaerts, is that Alessandro Nivola, Rami Malek and Robert De Niro. Oh my God. What a cast list. That is a real kind of, wow, mix of people there, isn't it? It's a murder and political conspiracy film shot in LA. So Wilbur, do you know anything more about the filming of it? Wilbur says, I wonder who steals the movie with that cast. Well, absolutely. That's such a list, isn't it? Woo! And I'm taking it. It's out now, is it? Let me know. I'm intrigued. Anyway, William says, I saw the 1976 film Man Who Fell to Earth, starring David Bowie. Yes, that is the same story, William. That's the same story. And yeah, this version is very, very clever. Brilliant script, really creative, and I'm really loving it. But I have nothing to compare it to because I don't know the film or the book. So yeah, if you do go and watch it and you know the originals, let me know what you think. But just let me know what you think anyway. Right, Chris is regaling us, folks, with another Flutifull quiz. Are we ready for this? Are we ready? Which rock band has had the most members at one time? Ooh, I like that. I like this has been categorized as a rock band. So because obviously the trouble is if you just said band, if you include orchestras, you've got no chance, I have you. Right, David is in there straight away. And Aeron, it's Aeron, isn't it, how you pronounce them? They're a great band who have all sorts of different musicians, string players and all sorts going on, don't they, at different times? So that's a really good guess, David. I like that. So Chris is saying, which rock band has had the most members at any one time? If you think you know the answer, let us know. David's in there with Aeron, though. Is that correct, Chris? Or do we keep guessing? Let us know. Right, I'm going to keep these wonderful requests coming because we have 10 more to go. It's 10 to 6 here in the UK, so we've got just over an hour, so I'm sure we've got time to get them in, and maybe a couple more. I don't know. David's the expert on that. Let us know, David. Excuse me. Right, next up, this is for Wilbur. Now, Wilbur, is the sun out yet? Is the sun out in LA? Because if it is, then that's beautiful. If it's not, then never fear, because this next tune, well, might entice it out, or it might just keep it asleep, because this is Sleeping Sun. There we go, a fabulous track by a very fabulous band indeed. That was Sleeping Sun by Nightwish, of course. Thank you, Wilbur, for the request, and thank you, Wilbur, for being responsible for that, because as a member of the Flutifull Club, Wilbur actually requested that one to be given the full Flutifull treatment, and you can do the same. If there's a track which you really think I should get my hands on and have a go at creating my own version of, then go and check out the Flutifull Club memberships, and the top tier there will allow you to choose two tracks a year, and I will make them for you. So there we go. Thank you very much, Wilbur. Apparently that's not got the sun out though. Wilbur says it feels like June gloom this morning. Well, that's no good, because it's not June, it's not October. So yeah, we'll hope that changes. Chris said it was supposed to be 72 here yesterday. It got up to 69 today. Oh my goodness. So you're having the opposite problem, Chris. Isn't it strange? It's strange to think how the weather is so different. I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? We live on a globe. But yeah, it's easy to forget that it's different for us all around the world. So it's interesting to hear that. Right, David has a wonderful Flutifull fact for us on our next song. So I tell you what, let's do the next one, and then, lovely people, I'm going to tell you my exciting news, my toll-related news, which I'm dying to share with you all. We'll talk about that after our next track. So David would like to tell us that Annie's Song was Denver's second #1 song in the US, occupying that spot for 2 weeks in July in 1974. So this is obviously an absolute classic by a classic US artist, and it was made even more classic, really, and iconic in the 70s by a very famous flute player. I'm sure you're all aware of that one. Sir James Galway was responsible for that, of course. After playing it on Top of the Pops, it's become a firm favourite with flute fans as well as country fans as well. So I hope you enjoy my own version of this today. This is the wonderful Annie's Song. Oh, the beautiful, beautiful Annie's song, John Denver, of course, and we'll be reminding us, that it's 25 years since John Denver died, and there's no better, more fitting way to remember that than with that beautiful, beautiful song. Wilbur says, like a sleepy blue ocean. Oh, I love that, Wilbur. Yeah, thank you, Mummy. Glad you enjoyed it. Thank you, David. And thank you, Wilbur. Right, okay, we have an answer to our quiz, which Chris posed to us a little bit earlier. So what's the rock band who has the most members? So the largest rock band, and apparently it's a metal orchestra. Metal orchestra. So can you tell us more about the metal orchestra, Chris? Because I'm intrigued to know a little bit more about this. Apparently they have 31 members, which really is more like an orchestra than a band, really, isn't it? But fill us in, because I'm intrigued to know a little bit more about that. And thank you for another interesting quiz. We had a few different guesses on that one, so it made us think, didn't we? It made us think. Right, so whilst we are learning a little bit more about that, let me tell you about something very, very, very exciting which happened to me yesterday, and which I'm going to share with you all very, very soon. So I had this mad idea. Sometimes I have these mad ideas, and it was to have more conversations on the channel, because those of you who followed me for a while know that I had a little conversation piece with a co-writer of mine, Evson Burder, and we produced a little EP together, and I decided it would be nice to have a conversation with Evson and do it as and put it out as a video on my channel where we talk about the music. So anyway, this made me think, maybe I should contact some other people who I admire and who I like their work, and who might be interested to talk to about flute and music and all the things that we're interested in here. So I thought, well, it has to be these two people who've become quite a big part of my life, actually, because I listen to them now on a weekly basis, trying to catch up with their wonderful podcasts. Now, I've talked about this podcast before. The podcast in question is called Talk Tull to Me. If you are a Jethro Tull fan and you've not listened to the podcast Talk Tull to Me, do yourself a favour and go and listen from the beginning. I'm working my way through because what they're doing is they are covering every single track ever recorded by the band in chronological order. So as you can appreciate, that's taking a while. I've listened up to the beginning of Thick as a Brick, so I'm working my way through Thick as a Brick. So I have quite a few episodes to go, but I have to say it's one of the highlights of my week because these guys are fabulous. They call themselves the Feckless Momes. They are trained actors and lifelong Tull fans and best friends, and it's just a delight. It's just a delight. So anyway, I had the pleasure yesterday of speaking to both Feckless Momes via Zoom, and we recorded the conversation, and it was wonderful. We talked about everything from music to Tull, of course, to flute, to tea. We had to talk about tea and all sorts of other things. In fact, I can't even remember, because we had a really good conversation, which I'm going to go back and look at and, of course, edit. And we're going to put that out for you very soon. So I haven't yet got a release date for that, because we're both going to put it out on our channel. So it's going to be on my channel, I think on their channel as well. They do have a YouTube channel. So just stand by is all I can say. And I'm hoping it's going to be the first of many conversations that I get to have with other creators and other people who I find interesting and admire. And if you do have anybody you think I should be listening to, who is maybe a small creator, whether that's a musician or not, or that has some connection maybe to music or flute or things that I'm interested in. I think you know me well enough by now, long-term viewers. Then do let me know. Do suggest people, because I'd really like to make this a regular thing, because I think it's just interesting for me to be able to introduce you to different people, and for us to have conversations, and I think people enjoy that. So anyway, I'm very excited to show you that it will be coming out, I'm hoping, before the end of the month. So stay tuned, and I'll let you know the date when that's going to appear. Right, so Chris is going back to our quiz that we had. Chris says, the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Of course, I know who you're talking about now, Chris. In fact, it's funny that you've mentioned that. I'm actually rehearsing some of their arrangements right now with my orchestra here in Hull for Christmas. Am I allowed to say the C word? I am. Rebecca's not around, is she? Okay. I'm rehearsing some stuff for Christmas. That are arrangements that are played by the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. So technically, they're really kind of an orchestra, aren't they? But yeah, it still makes for a good quiz question. Excuse me. Wilbur says I've heard some people compare Trans-Siberian Orchestra with Nightwish. Well, yeah, it's the same kind of sound in a sense, isn't it? Same kind of sound. Chris says I always think of Slipknot being the metal band with the most members, with only 9. Well, I suppose that's probably closer, isn't it, to what we'd think of as a band. But it's like, what is the definition of a band? It can be anything, can't it? Really, it doesn't have to. It's not restricted to genre, and really not restricted to size. So, interesting question. Wilbur also says, sub to the podcast yesterday after saw your post, Claire. Yeah, do go and check them out, Wilbur, because they're so funny and just lovely and so chilled. And they said to me yesterday, actually, I'm not sure if you'll see this on the recording because it might be a bit that gets edited, but they did say, we don't really mind how many people listen to our podcast. It's, we don't mind. We would still do it if nobody ever listened to it, because they're, as I say, they're good friends, and they said to me, it's since they started it, they've seen more of each other and spent more time with each other because they're doing the podcast. And I just thought that was so lovely. And it comes across, I said to them, it really comes across in the podcast that they are just two friends chatting about Tull, and for me that's it's just lovely. So I'm sure you will enjoy it, Wilbur, and I hope you enjoy our conversation when you get to hear it. Anyway, let us continue then. So next up is another request that was both from Wild and Chris today. Another tune which features in the first Guardians of the Galaxy film, and a classic from the 1970s. This is The Chain. There we go. That was, of course, The Chain, requested by Wild and Chris today. Thank you very much, guys, for the request of that one. Always fun to play, and thank you very much to Wild for making that happen, really, making that one happen. And Wild's back, folks. Wild is back. Right, great to see all the chat about the rock orchestra question. I think this is really fascinating. Chris says, I only specified the genre style, never excluding orchestras. So yeah, I mean, you're dead right, Chris. An orchestra is a band. A band is just a group of musicians. So just excluding classical music. So they're just defining it by the genre. So absolutely, I don't think it's wrong at all. And it's just interesting, isn't it? Our language and definition of things. And again, this is something I talked to Feckless Moans about, actually, about how music should just be music and why do we have to kind of categorize things. Yeah, if you exclude orchestras, I guess, well, Slipknot would be number 1. P-Funk All-Stars, number 2 with 26 members. I love that. It's interesting, isn't it? Anyway, I just love the question and yeah. Very good. Right, I'm going to have a little bit more tea. Wilbur, thank you so much for the Yorkshire tea that's come through. And Wilbur says, request that Claire pick one. Oh, my goodness. Right. Well, I tell you what, if that's on the cards then, I'm going to have a little flick through my list while I have a little bit of tea. What have we not had for a while, which I really like to play? Oh, it's just so many things. So many things that I don't know. I'm having a little flick through. What would be fun? What am I in the mood for? Do you know what? Let's have, because this doesn't come up very often, but it is a fun one and it is a nice one to play. Let's have a little bit of virtual insanity, shall we? So up next, folks, thank you, Wilbur. This is your request, really. Wilbur has requested for me to request, so I'm going to share this with you. This is one of my fairly early covers. Always loved this song. I loved it in the 90s when it came out, and I just thought it was such a great track that really was quite unique at the time. You know, it brought that funky bass and that kind of that sound that wasn't really around. Very innovative band, of course, Jamiroquai. And if you haven't seen the video, well, it was the one where the walls were kind of moving and it was really cleverly done. Anyway, enough chattering for me. I hope you enjoy this. This is my own version of Virtual Insanity. There we go, a little bit of virtual insanity, folks. And if we didn't live in that in the 90s, we certainly do now. There we go. Awesome. Thank you very much, Wilbur, for the request of my own request. That was really nice of you, and really nice to play that. So thank you so much. Right. We've got still quite a queue to go. We might not get to all of these today, but we will. I'll do my best, and we will, of course, save them for next week and get them in maybe then. I'm quite warm. I've got the window open today because I knew Hull Fair wouldn't be bothering us, but it's quite warm still this evening. And I might need to top up the tea in a moment, folks, but there we go. Right, we've added Eine kleine Nacht to the list. Lovely. We have to get our Mozart in. I know it's a busy list day today, but we are going to get our daily Mozart. Good for the brain, you know. But before that, we're going to have a little bit of computer game fun. So this has been requested by Wild today. This is another 90s classic, really, this, isn't it? If you played any kind of video games back in the 90s, I'm sure you will have come across this little blue hedgehog. 2 tunes for you from the original Sonic the Hedgehog game, the Green Hill Zone and the Marble Zone, both originally written by Masato Nakamura. I hope you enjoy this. There we are, a little bit of gaming action for you there, folks. That, of course, was 2 tunes from Sonic the Hedgehog. Thank you, Wild, for that. Thank you for the emojiing, everybody. Wonderful emojiing there, Wild and Mother. Thank you very much. Wild says, you heard that Nintendo are now in the movie making, they're going to make Super Mario Brothers movie. Wild saying, it won't be as good as Sonic. Yes, Sega through and through, aren't we, Wild? Yeah, well, that'll be interesting, won't it? It's taken them long enough to get around to it. There's been some Mario movies, hasn't there? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not the person to ask. Anyway, I have been thinking, recently that I should maybe add to the video game collection with the covers. It's been a while since I did any video game covers. I think my last one was the Crash Bandicoot, wasn't it? So I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about maybe adding to the games collection because it's been a while. So if you do have anything that you think would make a nice cover, then let me know. Let me know and we'll see what we can do. All right, continuing on then with this lovely list request. David would like to hear some improvisation. So this is a track which is available as part of my 3 Words Volume 2 EP. I have 2 EPs of improvised tracks available, and this one is, well, it's really what it says on the tin. Of all of the ones that I've done, that I've released, I really do feel that this one really kind of sums up the 3 words from which it is named. This is City Night Vibe. little bit of improvisation for you folks. That was today's version of City Night Vibe. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you, David, for the request of that one. Thank you, Mummy, as well, for the applause. And Wilbur, thank you. I hope you enjoyed that, folks. If you did and you'd like to own a version, not that one, because that was just in the moment. That was just as it was today. But if you would like to own a recorded version of it, you can do. Just head over to Bandcamp. David's given us the link there. Thank you, David. And it's part of the 3 Words Volume 2, because Volume 2 is a little bit more upbeat. Volume 1, bit more chill. You know, that was the idea. Anyway, so yeah, I hope you're enticed over there, and you can listen to all of the tracks before you download if you head over to Bandcamp. Chris says, I've got to go and get tested for COVID. Oh no, sorry to hear that, Chris. It's still around, isn't it? It's still around, and I've known a few people recently who've succumbed, unfortunately. Yeah, people fully vaxxed. Yeah, if you're fully vaxxed, then hopefully it won't get you too bad, which was my experience, although it still wasn't nice, I have to say. But there we go. So fingers crossed for you, Chris. Right, continuing on then. I'm just going to have a little bit. I'm going to top up my tea. Hang on, folks. I'm going to top up my tea, I think, before we go any further. Next up, we have a request for one of my more recent covers. This is a track by she was very young when she wrote this, and still going strong. A young Scottish singer-songwriter by the name of Amy MacDonald, and I know Wild is a big fan of hers, and it's down to Wild that we have this track, and I really enjoyed putting this together. So next up, this is my version of Amy MacDonald's "This Is the Life." go. That was my own version of This Is the Life, Amy McDonald. Thank you, Wild. And that one's a fairly recent cover of mine, and like all the covers which are my own creations, you can of course watch all the videos for those that I've put together at any time you like. They're all available on my channel. If you head to the playlist of all the flute covers, you'll find them all, or they're separated by category, and I did have a look through there this week and kind of try and sort it out a bit and update it a little bit, because it was getting a little bit all over the place. So if you do fancy going and checking out any of the videos, you're always welcome. They're available anytime you like. Right, continuing on then, we've got 3 left, and I think we've just about got time to get these in for you. So next up, something a little bit different. And if you're fairly new to my stream, you might not have seen me do this one before. Thank you to David for digging this one up from the archives. So what you're going to hear next is a study, really, which is a short piece which is aimed to develop one's technique as a musician. And this is rather special because it's a study by the fabulous flautist Greg Patillo, who is known for his beatboxing prowess. Oh yes. So this is a little tune from his book Beatboxing Method Volume 1. I'm assured there is going to be a Volume 2. It's not out yet, but he said there will be. And this is a little tune which is designed to, well, test your beatboxing skills. So we're going to test mine now. It's been a while since I played this, and Rolly's just come through the door. Hello, Rolly. I know you're a big beatbox flute fan, so I know you're going to enjoy this one. I'm going to do NRQW, a little study by the fabulous Greg Patillo. Here we go. Oh, hang on. Have I put the mic on? Let me put the right mic on, folks. I'm never quite sure how that's going to end when I speed it up, and that was no exception. NRQW, a little study by the wonderful Greg Patillo. I'm not responsible for that, writing of that, but I have written a few arrangements for Beatbox Flute. If you're crazy enough to try it, or you know anybody that is, then thank you, David, for adding the link there. Go and check out the link. You will find some dots, some sheet music for some of my, some of my own beatboxing arrangements. Right. Daily Mozart. Daily Mozart is coming next. I'm just going to have a bit of tea before we do that. And David has found us a fact on our Daily Mozart today. Thank you, David, for this one. So, Eine kleine Nacht Musik was completed in Vienna in 1787, around the time Mozart was working on the second act of his opera Don Giovanni. It is not known why it was composed. Interesting. I don't think I knew that. Possibly on commission. Yes, much of the work of Mozart was commission work. And we all know the sad story that he died, didn't he? A pauper, and wasn't really recognised for his wonderful work until much later. Anyway, we are continuing it on because we love it so much, and because it's good for the old brainio. So I hope you enjoy this. This is the opening allegro movement of A Little Night Music. There we go. That was Eine kleine Nachtmusik. Just about, because as you may have gathered, I got a little bit lost in the middle of there and was going, how well do I know this? But we got there in the end, didn't we? That was Eine kleine Nacht. I hope it's got the brain cells going. It certainly got my brain cells going when I got lost and had to try and remember what the heck I was doing. That'll teach me, won't it? Thank you for the request of that one today, folks, and I hope you enjoyed it. Right, I'm going to have a little bit more tea. Thank you, Rolly. Glad you enjoyed that. Mother enjoyed that as well. Awesome. Right, we've got two more in the queue, and I think we can just about get through those, can't we? And we will finish with the Boré as well, because you know I have to have a bit of tull, and we haven't had any other tull this stream, have we? So yeah, we are going to finish with that. But we're going back to the world of video games right now. So next up, I think I'll do these back to back. That would work well, wouldn't it? We're going to hear two of the themes from two of the Tomb Raider games, the first two Tomb Raider games, and both composed by Nathan McCree, who's composed some wonderful music for games. And yeah, I don't think there's anything more to say than that. It really is this. So I'll do them back to back. This is the theme from Tomb Raider 1 and the theme from Tomb Raider 2. we go. That was, well, 2 covers for you there, folks. 2 for the price of 1. That was the themes from Tomb Raider 1 and Tomb Raider 2. Hope you enjoyed those very much, and I hope you've enjoyed all the wonderful requests that we've had today. Thank you so much to everybody who's joined me and requested something, because you know, it really is my pleasure to play music which people really want to hear. So thank you for all of those. Before, excuse me, I finish off with a little bit of Bray for us today. Let me tell you what you can expect from me this week. So there was a new cover last week, of course, on Friday. That was the Deep Space Nine cover. Do go and check that out if you've not yet seen the video. So no new content, I'm afraid, from me this week. But like I say, I'm busy preparing the Feckless Moans conversation that I had yesterday, and I will let you know when that's coming out very, very soon. So no new content, but I will be back, of course, same time, same place, for more of our wonderful time together next Sunday. So to finish off our music making together today, let's have a little bit of Bull Ray. Oh, finishing off our music making today, folks, of course, that was a little bit of Bore. Thank you so much to everybody who's joined me for the past couple of hours for some live music, some friendly chat, and of course, some fascinating facts along the way. Thank you so much to my fabulous moderators, David Walker and Chris Storms, who do such a good job of not only, keeping us all happy and safe in the chat, but providing us with some awesome facts and dealing with your wonderful requests as well. Thank you to everybody who's been able to donate via the coffee link. Keeps me in tea, which is very important, and keeps all the equipment and everything running as well. But just thank you for being here. This wouldn't happen if you weren't here. So thank you so much. Do spread the word. Our community is growing. Our subscriber count here on YouTube is continuing to grow. So do spread the word. And invite any folks along who you think might enjoy a little bit of company, and they're always welcome, of course, to watch this back during the next week. So until we meet again in this virtual world of ours, which I hope will be very, very soon indeed, take care of yourselves, stay very, very safe, and above all, do not forget to stay flutifull. Thanks, folks. See you again soon. Bye.